After a few months of silence, Motocross the Game finally has a big update coming at the end of summer, and it's partially bad news, but also some good news. So let's jump into it, shall we? What's going on, everyone? Kellen Brower here at Start Your Systems, and welcome to another Motocross Gaming News Update, where today we're going to talk about Motocross the Game, which of course was originally supposed to be released at the end of 2025. And the biggest part of the update today is that that is now not going to happen, unfortunately. The game is officially delayed. They came out with an update today explaining some of the timeline difficulties that they've had to deal with, and more specifically an update on generally what's been going on behind the scenes. Everyone knows, of course, Reaper Doc is working over there closely with that team as part of their lead PR manager, and he put out a video on the channel today explaining a lot of these things. So let's listen to what he had to say, and then let's break it down.
Hey guys, it's been a while since we posted any updates, so I wanted to jump on here and fill you guys in with a few things. First off, I wanted to say a huge thank you for the support over the Kickstarter and helping us reach our goal. That support helped us hire 2 new senior developers who have been absolutely crucial in the game's progress and timeline. I'll jump into that a little bit more at the end. If you guys caught it, our team was recently at Gamescom, where they shared some footage through a French news outlet of the game in its current state. Now, I was reading through comments and I noticed a lot of you saying that the bike and rider looked very stiff and that it looked like a step backwards. Well, I can say that the rider and bike are very stiff, and that's because right now the bike and rider are coded as one singular mass, and that is why everything is looking very stiff. This is not final by any means. We're just testing things in stages, and right now that's where we're at. We know that the separation of bike and rider is absolutely crucial for, whips and scrubs and everything in between, and that's what we'll be doing, and it'll look much more fluid in the future. Over the months of our silence, we have been hard at work, and I'm very excited to share that we have many major bike brands, gear brands, and facilities that you're going to love coming to Motocross the Game. I can't share too much right now with you, but be on the lookout here in a few weeks for a big update. Now let's talk about timeline, because I know a lot of you guys are wondering when the game's going to be ready. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Our original timeline was way too ambitious. When we created this original timeline, we were a group of passionate gamers and riders that came together and leaned on the people around them to help get the best dates possible. But the reality is we didn't fully grasp the whole idea of the project management and everything that goes into building a game. We just didn't know, as we didn't know it was the first time we'd ever done this. Now, thanks to the team we've built with your support, we have a much better idea of timelines, scope of work, and just a much better idea of everything involved in creating the best motocross game in the world. What that means is we're going to scrap our original roadmap and create an entirely new one. To be clear, that does mean we are going to delay Motocross the Game. As far as when and all that, we plan on updating you guys soon, but in the meantime, we are going to commit to monthly updates of our progress so that you guys can see a lot more of what's going on. And this is going to start soon. Check back in here September 27th for our first big update. The team at Motocross the Game is more excited than ever, and this isn't bad news. This is just giving us the right amount of time to create the greatest motocross game in the world, and that's what we're going to do. See you guys on the 27th.
So let's start out with what he said at the end of the video there, which of course is the game is now officially delayed, and they're actually going to recreate their roadmap from scratch. So they had a roadmap laid out, and we'll get into that in a second. But basically what he said is the original timeline was way too ambitious and, quote, we didn't fully grasp the project management and everything that goes into building a game because we didn't know. It's a fair assessment. Most of these guys have never actually fully built a motocross game or any game really from the start. They're working with the development team now that is very well versed on building games, but at the end of the day, there is still going to be hiccups with every game launch, and I think that within a year of launch of the actual title of the game, trying to fully produce and actually bring it to market was going to be a bit too ambitious. They do say that they are committing to monthly updates on the game from here on out, so hopefully we'll see a little bit more recurring news and updates about the game from this point onward, and more specifically, September 27th is when they're going to have a big update on the game. Now, I don't know officially if that's going to be when they will announce the release date of the game, or if it's just going to be more updates about what they can include in the game from a licensing standpoint, but it is going to be a big update that they say will be the biggest one yet. He also mentioned, of course, in this video that there are major bike brands, major gear brands, and even a facility or facilities that they are going to include in this game. Of course, they've already signed some deals with, Triple Crown Series in Canada and a couple other places like that, but I'm sure we're going to see more of that coming out soon. And I do know behind the scenes, in talking to not only a lot of manufacturers and gear brands themselves, but they're actually quite excited to see where this project goes. So I know that even the talks are going and continuing to go on behind the scenes. So I think that there's even going to be more than what they'll announce at the end of this month that will come down the pipeline. Now, speaking specifically about the gameplay, of course, they were at Gamescom a couple weeks ago, and then a French media outlet released a little bit of behind the scenes footage of that game. I think that was a bit of a strategic leak, but you can see that they do have a rider model in the game now. It is rather rigid, and even Reaper Doc explained in this video how the rider model and bike model are a combo of one another right now. So that is why it looks rigid. It's not free moving rider feeling, and it's also, attachment to the bike adds a little bit of mass with the rider on top of it, so it's going to be a little bit more wobbly. But that's why maybe the gameplay looks as stiff as it does. They seem confident that they're going to be able to, change this dynamic and make the rider movement completely separate, but we'll have to see, of course, in the coming updates. Now, literally just one day before they announced this update about the delay of the game, there was actually a big update to end the summer, more or less, about what's been going on in August. So here's a couple things that they've been hitting on of late. The team focused on polishing their Vertical Slice, a mini demo that showcases the full potential of the game in preparation for their big reveal at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany, of course. That was on August 19th to the 22nd. Not only did we have the pleasure of meeting some of you in person and getting your feedback live, but we also received amazing reactions from industry veterans. Shortly after this, they released an alpha build of the game on September 3rd for backers and Gold Rider tier and above. If you're curious about their feedbacks or want to chat to alpha players, you can join their Discord, which we'll include a link to in the description below. And then they talked about what's next. September is going to be action-packed. We've been working on several updates, and they're finally about to drop. It will answer a lot of questions we are receiving on our socials. We can't wait to share them with you, and of course, they pretty much released a lot of that today. And then, of course, thanked people for the amazing support. And with that, they also had a lot of screenshots uploaded by an alpha player, showing a little bit behind the scenes of the game. You'll recognize the track. It is Swedish Midsummer Carnage by Hell Machine, who's a part of the development team that was released in MX Bikes, but now seems to have even more, a little bit fanfare behind it, as it's going to be released in MTG. So that's kind of cool to see. But obviously, just some little minor updates to show that they are making progress, but obviously today is the biggest news. So let's quickly talk about the roadmap, and here is their official Kickstarter page, which I'll also include a link to in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. But again, talking about the goals that they were trying to meet and things that they were trying to get to, Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 were already complete by the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. So then we moved into Phase 4, alpha release for gold tier backers. This would have been early 2025, but it actually was kind of pushed back a little bit into like more early mid-ish 2025. And then, of course, they haven't even updated it since. Multiplayer available and a TBA announcement was supposed to be done. This was months ago now. So as we moved into mid-2025, they were going to have a gameplay trailer release, public demo release, and more TBA news. They did not hit those goals, so of course they started falling behind schedule. And then by the end now, coming into fall of 2025, looking to release on PC, have some bug fixes, and then eventually release on console as well. So they did not end up reaching the roadmap that they thought, which is why they say they're going to scrap it and start from the ground up. I think it is a positive change and needed, because I think that it's better than rushing the game out to an incomplete zone and then releasing a game that gets negative feedback, immediately falls off the scale to an audience, and then even if they make massive updates later, it doesn't change much. We've seen this unfortunate incident happen to MX vs. ATV Legends, which in all intents and purposes is actually a pretty good game now, but when it was released, it had a lot of bugs, a lot of problems, and a lot of people that didn't like it, and immediately got a lot of bad reviews, not only on Steam pages and Xbox and PlayStation Store, but also some major market players like IGN and other brands rated it terribly, and they've been asking these other magazines and major players in the media market to re-rate the game and give it a new score so that it can actually rank higher on people looking to buy the game. Unfortunately, that's not happened yet. So for them, they're still fighting this uphill battle that MTG even can learn from and maybe not make that same mistake. So the big update at the end of the day is that Motocross the Game is now officially delayed. When it's going to be delayed to, we don't know yet, but of course there is going to be some updates following very soon. We'll keep on this beat, keep you guys updated as much as possible, and look forward to that September September 27th date as a changing point in what is coming next for MTG. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please sure to head down to the comment section below. Happy to get involved and chat with you guys down there. But thanks for tuning in to another edition of Motocross Gaming News here on Start Your Systems. I'm Kellen.